We're going to continue on with a discussion of lists. We've looked at ordered list, unordered list, description lists, and now we're going to talk about other ways to use lists. There are some things in HTML that you may not think of as a list, but they can benefit from being marked up as if it's a list. And the one we're going to talk about today during this lesson is navigation items. Those items that typically go across the top or bottom of the page or maybe in the left or right column. When you think about those navigation items like home, about us, contact us, all of those things that are navigation items are essentially a list. They're a list of navigation items. So let's see how this would work. We're going to convert our current navigation items to list items. We're going to make a list of the navigation items, and then we're going to use CSS to actually make it all work. So let's get started by going to Aptena right now. Remember, your book asks you to find a certain area of the HTML, specifically the site navigation class, and I'm going to use the find tool to look for that. And then I'm going to add the UL. Here again, Aptena tries to help us by creating a closing tag where we really don't need one, so we have to delete that UL closing tag that's automatically made for us and put it in the right spot. We want all the navigation items to be within the unordered list opening and closing tag. Then we need to go and we need to replace all the paragraph tags, both opening and closing paragraph tags, with individual LIs or list items. So the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm just deleting all the paragraph tags. I'm started with the opening tags and now I'm going to each of the individual closing tags. Just have a couple more here to do, and then we'll start putting the opening and closing LIs. Because of the funny way Aptena works by creating these closing tags where we really don't need them, we're going to actually put the closing tags on first. And now when I go to do the opening tags on each side of the list item, I'll do a little indent to put in the right spot. Aptena actually sees the closing tag at the end of the line, says I don't need to create a closing tag automatically for you. And so what that does, that kind of speeds up the process and makes it a little less cumbersome for us. So now each of the items within the navigation surrounded by an unordered list now have their own list tags opening and closing before and after each of these items. The next thing we're going to go do is go to the style sheet and make sure that our style is properly formatted. Remember, before each of the items were labeled as P's, they were in nav.site navigation, the P tag, and now they're no longer P's. Now each of those site navigation items are LIs. So we're going to change the style sheet for LI. Then we're going to go ahead and save this, and we're going to pull it up in our web browser. And the good news is it's working just as it should. You can see all the colors are changing as we mouse over, and all the links still work. Just to make sure that the change is made, I'm looking at the source code in the browser now, and you'll notice the UL, the unordered list, and then with individual list items. That's it for this lesson. Very simple. Now on to the next lesson.